My Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. The only label I will wear is that I love Jesus and I'm black. I've been on this journey way longer than most of the people who probably will ever cross my video. At this point, we are in 2021. It's 22 years. So I've learned a lot on my journey. I'm being true to myself. I naturally love raw food. I naturally love living food. Hi everyone. I feel this video is very important now that I'm posting more on YouTube and I'm a little bit more open with my healthy living lifestyle. Oh gosh. Yeah, let's get into it. I just woke up, threw on some clothes. I'm heading out to my Pilates class, but I wanted to do this video while it's on my mind and I wanted to be here. So whenever people ask me, how could you gain weight on a raw food diet? Let's get into it. Here's my journey with plant-based living. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, but I'm not new to this. What's the saying? Anyway, I stopped eating meat back in 1999. So I've been in the game. This is 22 years of my journey. This is just something. I'm from Houston, Texas. I went on this journey starting in college. I stopped eating turkey meat I started eating turkey. I stopped eating like chicken and red meat, and I went on this journey all alone myself. When I started out, I don't even think there was like a Google. It was just something I felt led naturally to do. I started reading books and I went on this journey. So as I mentioned, 1999, September actually, is when I completely stopped eating meat and I started a journey. When I started out, soy was the thing. I had this book, Soy Zone. I think at the time there was a book, it was the Zone Diet, and I think Jennifer Aniston was a proponent of the Zone Diet. So I had this book, the Soy Zone, and it was all about soy is great, soy is healthy, soy is for you, all of this stuff, the health benefits of soy, the wonders, the people who live forever in like Okinawa, of how people eat soy all the time and it's healthy for you. Not really mentioning that a lot of those places people are also eating fish and they're having a healthy lifestyle. They're walking, they're exercising. It's a different type of soy that they were eating, fermented, all of these variations. But at this time, I was soy out. I would do soy protein, soy smoothie in the morning, soy protein in my smoothie, soy milk. I was actively exercising. During this time, I was in New York and Los Angeles, and I was actively working out. Between workouts, I would do soy bars. For dinner, I would have soy chicken nuggets and some California blend vegetables. And what else would I eat? Oh, sweet potato fries. That was what I ate for years. And mind you, this was the early 2000s all the way up until I stopped eating soy in 2008. I was soy in and out. That was like for 8 years. 8 or 9 years, soy, breakfast, lunch, dinner, soy milk, soy bars, soy burgers, soy. That was the life. And during that time, I'm trying to make this video quick. During that time with soy, which I didn't know, remember, I don't think Google was around at this time. There were things that I experienced. Soy was high in estrogen, so I remember when it was that time of month, I was just literally like stare at the wall. Skin issues, but I was in shape. I stayed, Speaking of that, we'll come back to that. So soy. Up until 2008, my inner self was like, don't stop eating soy. And I remember at the time I was a substitute teacher in Los Angeles, and I went on the computer and I had to dig really, really deep researching at that time because there was no other information that spoke out against soy. And I looked and found out that soy had negative effects for the body. Please understand that I'm discussing my body. I'm not discussing yours. I am very clear that bodies react differently. I will never tell people that they should only be vegan or only should be raw vegan or only should, no, I do not. And I've never told anyone that they should just eat that way. I've simply shared what I enjoy eating. But in 2008, I researched and realized, wait, this is not healthy for my body. And that's really what happened. Then I went on a journey of just eating real God-created food. I was like, at that point, I wanted to do real God-created food. And I went through that journey, and then raw food came into my life. Boom. Moving on. Weight gain. I think it is very important because I did a video about a year or maybe 2 ago, I'm not sure. I discussed me gaining weight, and someone asked, how could you gain weight on a raw food diet? At that time, I had a particular answer, but as I took time off and just to focus on self-care and not being go, go, go this year, I realized, I kind of went back and tried and really realized what I had to. In January, I took time to really figure out what is going on with my body. Why am I gaining so much weight? Why, if I fast, the weight falls off, but then it's boom, right back? What is going on with my body? Next thing. When I started out my life, middle school, I was like a size 5. High school, size 7. Junior year of high school, 9, 10. Then that's when I was like a teenager. Then, you grow up. So 12th grade, I was a size 5. College, I was a size freshman 15. I think I went back to probably a 8, 9, 10 freshman. And then the last 2 years is when I got into more working out. Well, I started working out my freshman year of college. Mind you, this is years ago. Like I'm talking 94, 1994. And so that's when I started like working out. Like I joined the gym in the town that I went to, where I went to school at. And so I would work out, a little bit, but I got serious about working out towards my senior year when I attended a historically Black college and I wanted to be on the dance team. Everybody who went to HBCUs know about the dance team, the majorettes, and everything. And that's when I started actively working out, changing my diet, all of these things that I started doing. And of course, that's when I went, I lost a lot of weight. I was like more size 4, size 5. After that, of course, I embarked upon full veganism or vegetarianism because soy burgers had, I think, eggs at the time in it. And some of the non-dairy cheese had, anyway, it was vegetarianism. And then I never wanted to use the term at that time. I know now people do vegan food and all of those things, but at that time, my identity with veganism was people who don't use animal products, soaps, wear leather, things like that, which is, I guess, the true definition. And so I didn't really know much about veganism. I knew that I wore animal products at that time, so I just didn't think much about it. Keep in mind, this was, the early 2000s. And so, so after that, I lived in active places. I lived in New York, I lived in Los Angeles. You're always walking. In Los Angeles, it was a way of life. I lived literally walking distance from Runyon Canyon. I was always hiking. Another location, I lived in Santa Monica towards the end of my 9, 10 years there. And I would go to the beach every night walking. I had an active lifestyle. During that whole span of time, I was a size 2, possibly 4, but a size 2 consistently from 2000 to, anyway, the early 2000s, all the way until I started raw food around 2011 or so. And some people do raw foodism and they lose all this weight, and people connect raw foodism with being small. The point of the story was I was fit, more fit, in shape before raw foodism ever came into my life. I was way smaller than I am now before raw foodism, but years and years before raw foodism came into my life. So that is the point of that. I've never been as large as I am now, and I'm not blaming raw food. So I've caught you all up with my size journey during that time, and I also caught you up with soy. Going back to 2008, and please forgive me, this was on my mind and I wanted to get this out before I go to exercise. So around 2008, I had to get an exam for, as I mentioned at that time, I think I was doing substitute teaching. And long story short, I had to get an exam and the doctor said that I had a thyroid nodule. But, you know, it was benign. I don't think anything of it. At that time, I had no issues with weight gain. I was very small. I had energy. I didn't think much of it. Later on, I didn't think much of the thyroid nodule or anything. So later on, I ended up going into raw foodism. I worked at a organic cold pressed juice and raw food place in New York. I was full-fledged raw foodie for a very long time, and I had no issues. Of course, when I first went to raw foodism, I lost even more weight, but I was already small, so it just was like extreme weight. And I've tried to do another video on that, so people understand that when you go to raw foodism, when you change any diet that you have, you will, if you go from vegetarian to veganism, or if you go from standard American's diet to paleo, whatever, anytime you change a diet, your body, when you're like upgrading your eating lifestyle, your body will go through a natural cleansing process. So yes, of course, when I first started raw foodism, I was very small, smaller than, when I started, I was probably a size 2 and 4. And I lost a lot of weight and I couldn't keep any weight on me, which is normal. It was a natural cleansing. This was a cleaner diet. I was eating lots of vegetables, lots of fruit, versus prior, remember, I was eating like soy bars and soy burgers and not a lot of greens and not a lot of vegetables. So of course I did this natural slimming down, but with raw foodism, and probably when you start eating cleaner, once your body goes through this cleansing, your body will balance out to what is healthy for your body, the healthy weight for your body. It's possible some people gain weight, some people lose weight. It just depends. That's why I really like the lady Victoria, I think Botenko, or I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's the one that started the green smoothies phenomenon. Like, she was a green smoothie lady. Now she's no longer fully raw. I don't think she's vegan, or anyway, I don't know, you have to look into her story, but she was like a fuller size raw foodie. And there was another lady at the time who was as well, which is why I saw people that had a little bit weight on them. Karen, I don't know, you have to look up her videos. Raw food milk at the time, I don't know about now, but there were people who had weight on them. So I'm telling this story because I'm discussing my weight journey, so I can refer people to this video. So after a while, your body bounces out. When I worked at the raw food place in New York, every day we would be doing juice cleanses because we had all this leftover juice every day. So I would go home with bags of juice, bags of raw food. We had so much food. I would give food to the homeless. I would give food to the Peace Foods at the time, was across the street from us. Like, I would have so much raw food and juices every day. When we worked, every few weeks, it would be like, oh my gosh, you just did so many hours of work. Here's a juice cleanse. Like, it was a juice cleanse world at that time. It was like 2013, 2014. This was when juice cleansing was like a really, really big deal, and a lot of celebrities were in it. The place I worked at, a lot of celebrities would come into it. This was just at the height of juice cleansing. And so I was juice cleansing a lot, and I was able to do fully raw pretty much that time because I never had to buy groceries in where I worked, and that's where juicing came into my life. So again, never thought much about thyroid, never had any issues with weight gain during that time, nothing. No issues, but I was actively, when raw food came into my life, I was actively juicing, garlic, drinking cayenne. apple cider vinegar water at that time. I was just very balanced and I was exercising. Fast forward to spending more time in Texas. I had a more sedentary lifestyle, completely different lifestyle, sedentary, like seriously sedentary, where you had to be very intentional to exercise, not somewhere where it was a way of life. Like in New York, it's a way of life to exercise. You're walking every day to get where you need to go. In Los Angeles, if you live in a city, it's a way of life. Like I mentioned, I lived like a few blocks from Marine Canyon. I would go hiking every day. Then I lived in another area by Griffith Park. I would go hiking every day. I lived, a very active lifestyle. So fast forward to different location, more sedentary lifestyle, followed by two or 3 years of pretty much a very stressful life journey. Sleeping habits were altered. And the point of the story is, so raw food was in my life, right? In 2017, had this bright idea. Now, prior to this, I had not experienced all this stuff I heard about raw foodism. I didn't hear it. I didn't experience any negative things like that. I didn't experience change in your menstrual cycle. I did not experience things happening to my teeth. I didn't hair loss. I didn't experience any of those things at all. I had a bright idea to go to Fruitarianism in 2017. I did videos on Instagram. I did not post. I think I posted them on YouTube, but then I took them down. So people who follow me on Instagram are more knowledgeable about my Fruitarianism. It started out amazing. I lost weight initially. I had great energy. Now let me explain Fruitarianism. The way I did it is I literally went all fruit. I had no more desire to do green salads or before that I was doing daily green salads. I stopped doing that. I literally just ate loads and loads of fruit. Versus before Fruitarianism, I had a more balanced diet. I had, like I said, I would always do my daily green salads. I would have my green smoothies. I was, more balanced with my nutrition. Once I went to Fruitarianism, I just ate fruit, literally fruit, mangoes, loads of mangoes, just fruit. And initially, weight-wise, it was still fine. I was still small. Everything was good. When I took time this January to figure out like what is going on in my body, things started changing the summer of 2018. The summer of 2018 gradually, and definitely 2019. And mind you, during that time, I was living in an environment where because of environmental noise reasons, I wasn't able to sleep overnight. So I figured, my weight gain had something to do with that, and then it was more a sedentary lifestyle. I mean, I was exercising, but wasn't consistently exercising. I was gaining weight. December 2018, I also just started consuming sea moss and bladderwrack. So I sat down and I was like, what happened? What was it? Was it my sea moss and bladderwrack consuming more iodine? What is going on? Because I gained weight gradually. At first I thought it was like cute. Like, oh, this is fun. I have cushion. Like, this is fun. Until 2020 happened. My weight, it was up there. I was someone that was always around 118 through 125, 128 for the most part. Except, my 1 or 2 years in high school, I was a size 9-10, and then like my freshman year of college, I was a freshman and probably sophomore year, size 9-10. Other than that, I was always size 2, size 4. So that was pretty much my weight. If I kind of like didn't exercise or something, basically when I was in high school, the most I weighed was 135. That's doing nothing. And even as an adult, if I did nothing and didn't exercise or anything, maybe 130 or something. But for the most part, definitely from 2001. In 2001, I was actively exercising, actively in the gym, lifting weights, and consuming soy, and I was a size 2. Funny story, from 2000, for at least a good 17 years of my life, I was pretty much size, like I said, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, regular sizes. And then my weight just got out of hand. Like when I started living in Texas, it went up to 150 or 40. The difference is if I worked, all I had to do was work. I was not working out consistently, but all I had to do was work out and the weight would be gone in a week or two. Cause I just exercise and drink lemon water, do some ginger juice, and the weight would fall off. These last 2.5 years, that weight was not going anywhere. If I did a fast, you know, if I did I did a water fast last year, I tried it, I think, yeah, a water fast, it would fall off like it was nothing, but it would come back. And I was just like, what is going on with my body? I'm very large. My highest weight was 178, 179. And I'm not putting pictures in here and things like that because this is just something I want to get out there. And maybe if I do a follow-up video, I'll be more detailed, or maybe when I lose all my weight. So I was like, what is going on with my body? I took time and just took a break from life and was like, what is going on? And the biggest thing that happened, and I look back on, was when I started Fruitarianism. I know people was like, oh, you can't gain weight if you're Fruitarianism. Well, everyone's body is different. I think the large amount of sugars and large amount of carbs and just eating that put my body on a different journey. And I realized with a lot of high sugar or lots of fruit, it can have negative, it doesn't pair well with people with thyroid concerns. Even though in 2008 I had a thyroid nodule, I never really thought about it as being an issue because it never really affected my body. It was like, oh, okay, it was something I felt, it didn't affect my body. But something about the Fruitarianism journey kicked off the things that I heard about raw foodism. Affected my teeth. One of my gums is a little higher now. The chipped tooth. What else happened? It's just, it kicked off a lot of things with raw foodism. And a lot of people, when they consume large amounts of fruit, they work out a lot. I did not work out a lot. So whether it was a combination, I think it was a combination of the sleep habits, stress, but that fruitarian lifestyle kicked me off on a journey of my body, and I'm just now trying to get things more balanced out. And I told this, okay, I think we got everything out. I did some videos in the beginning of the year, and you can go back and look at those videos, or the end of last year actually, and you can see I have a large neck and thyroid and nodule and goiter. I watch vegan deterioration videos. I watch them. I have been in this journey since 1999. This is not new to me, okay? So I still watch and see what's going on, what exactly going on. So they have these series of videos. They're like, pay attention to the goiter. Pay attention to the goiters, to the thyroids for the vegans. And a lot of those videos do have that. And I was like, oh my gosh. So if you watch those videos towards the end, you can see that I have a really large, you could probably see my thyroid nodule. You can probably see my thyroid is pretty large. I was consuming a lot of CMOS, a lot of bladderwrack. Recently this year, I read how bladderwrack, everybody's a huge proponent of bladderwrack, and I read how bladderwrack actually isn't ideal for people who may have thyroid issues. Now, so there was a lot of information out there. I have to head to class, but I just wanted to put this video out there. I'm on my journey. This is why I'm also playing a part of my journey, why I'm on the journey to have a more balanced life, work out, exercise. I wanted to be clear, I am not blaming raw foodism and I'm not blaming veganism, but I did extreme soy back in years and years and years ago, early 2000s, not knowing, not being knowledgeable. And now I experienced some of the effects with me and the raw food journey. I love raw food. It's who I am. I know I do not want to be a proponent of raw food. I'm trying to figure out the balance in that. It's just a part of my eating lifestyle. It is naturally who I am. So I naturally want to share what I enjoy. I do believe it's a great cleansing and healing diet, but I wanted to be clear, my journey with thyroid started from when I was a vegetarian and veganism. Raw food, I did not have any issues with thyroid. I was juicing, I was active, I was cleansing. I mean, naturally doing my garlic and my juice, not thinking about, I never had any ill effects. So I want to make it clear, I'm not saying anything negative about raw foodism. My journey started prior to, but let's be clear, before I stopped eating meat, I did not have any health issues. I did not have any thyroid issues. I consumed lots of seaweed growing up, not seaweed, seafood. I love seafood. That didn't start then. So it did happen, but it's a journey. You learn, you educate yourself. Now there's all this information out there. At that time, it was not a lot of information out there. So just wanted to make that clear. So just to pick people up, my channel now isn't about, oh my gosh, I'm going to Whole Foods. And this has been my life for years. I go to the grocery store like every day. And maybe that happened with me from being in New York because there's only so much food you can carry. But I naturally did this. That's why the only thing about the pandemic was like my habits of going to the grocery store, hanging out at Whole Foods. I wasn't able to do that as much. But this is my natural life. I've been going to Whole Foods forever. I've been going to Trader Joe's forever. And I'm just sharing, but I wanted to make it clear, I am a well-rounded person. I'm not about to come out here and say everyone should be a vegan. And that's a different story, because also during this time, I read some information about that's connecting the vegan term with Christianity and some things that were in the Bible about it. So no, I am not vegan. I enjoy plant-based food. I enjoy raw food. It is my life, but I will never tell you that you should not eat meat because Jesus ate fish. People eat meat in the Bible. This is just what I am naturally. This is what I've naturally been drawn to, like I said, since 1999. Feel free to comment any questions that you may have, so I can do a follow-up video if you like me to. And no, I think that's everything. Oh, so yes, I'm on a thyroid healing journey, and you can like I ate kale yesterday. I'm not going to. You can probably see my neck is a little larger than it needs to be. So this journey is more than me about losing weight. It's about nourishing my thyroid gland, clean eating the diet that I need to. I've reduced my green smoothies drastically. I'm not consuming as many green smoothies, and I'm on a healing journey. As I mentioned at the end of last year, I said I was on a 12-month self-care journey, and this is a part of my journey. It's 12 months. So yes, I'm sharing videos, but I'm also on different journeys. I'm focusing on healing my body, growing my hair. All of these things are taking place during this time. So thank you for watching. I'm sure a lot of people will have something to say. Before I go, as I mentioned, raw food is something I enjoy, but nowhere near do I want to be a proponent for raw food, and I do not want to. A lot of negative things happen in the raw food community. There's a lot of meanness that happens within the raw food and veganism community. When people come out and say that they're no longer raw foodies or they're no longer veganism, people say really mean things to those people. So I'm trying to figure out a way to navigate my channel. I don't like being connected with any organization or any group of people that are very mean-spirited, or I don't know. So this is just who I am and what I like to eat, but I'm not one to wanting to wear the badge of honor and say be a part of a lot of the things that go on in that community. Eating disorders, anorexia, this push to be perfect, to look perfect, to be super thin, to have glowing skin, where food is an idol. You know, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. The only label I will wear is that I love Jesus and I'm black. Hey, speaking of black, that's another thing in the vegan community. you know, just putting animals at a pedestal. But yet when all this stuff happened in the Black community, who's going for bat for the Black community? You know, people, if something happens to an animal, the vegan community goes crazy, but let a Black man be in the streets. It's a different story. So I know this video may rub people the wrong way, but I just wanted to share my journey. Thyroid health. I naturally love plant-based food, and yeah. Okay, chat with you guys later. Bye.